hosted by Mike, the Big Cheese.
To the Heavy Metal Mayhem radio show. It is April 28th, the last weekend of April. We're moving into May, at the beginning of the summer season to me. Hopefully the weather will pick up. It is going to be a nice day here in New York tomorrow. Hope we can maintain that for the, now until like maybe October. We'll see what happens. But right there, Animal, Fuck Like a Beast. I love that song. I remember getting the 45 when it came out with the buzzsaw blades for the cock piece. Playing that song, walking around Brooklyn in the old days with my first girlfriend, hoping that it would get me laid, I guess, And I guess it was like playing Frank Sinatra in the 40s and 50s, hoping that was like a romantic song, but it just didn't work, I guess, at least not for me anyway. Hey, but we got a great show for everybody tonight. My good friend Lee Payne of Cloven. We already spoke to Lee because of the time difference. We did it earlier. It was recorded already. We'll get that interview on in the second half of the show. Coming up first, Matt Mayhem from Burning Legion. We'll be talking to him in about a half hour. So stick around. We got a couple of new tunes to get on tonight. Some classics like always. Let's do a little set of classic heavy metal. I've had these songs lying around in the queue for like the last couple of weeks. Just haven't been able to get to them. So here's Mandata with Black Rose.
In the woods and the silence
that was Savage Choir with Obey the Voice. I love those guys. They came out around 79, 80. They were a three-piece band at one point in time. They changed to a four-piece. Most people remember them from like around 85 when they changed the name of the band to Death Mask. And I had Steve Michaels and Benny Ronson on the show many times in the early days. Steve, his real name is Ferrigno. Steve passed away a couple of years ago. I remember he was in the hospital saying that he's feeling good, he's getting better, and then a couple of days later, there was a death notice. Just like that, it can happen. Like I said, Steve was a really great guy and an amazing singer, too. I think we had it was Ariel Lee we had on the show some years back. I gotta say, I think that was probably the worst interview that this show ever had. I tried my hardest to get him to talk. When you interview guests, sometimes when they get a little leery, I mean, some guests, we dig up bands from a long time ago, and these guys haven't done interviews in ages. And when they did do them back in the day, they were mostly for fans, and so they wrote things down on a piece of paper, mailed it back. They're not good at live interviews, or they haven't done them in a very long time, so it kind of throws them off, and I get that. So I know it's like if you throw a little praise at some of these artists, they kind of loosen up because they feel like, you really like the music, and, but I could not get Ariel Lee to talk. I think he said yeah and ha about 8 or 9 times, and I had to end the interview because I just could not get the man to talk or answer any question. If anybody ever heard that show, listen to it, you know what I'm talking about. And it's a shame because Ariel's a really nice guy, and he apologized about that. He just felt he was under the weather that night, or whatever the excuse was. But that's what happens when you dig up some of the classic acts and they've been out of the business for a very long time. Shit like that happens. Okay, we're going to get to Burning Legion in about 10 minutes. I think we have enough time for maybe 1 or 2 originals, not originals, but new songs. We'll get us some brand new Accept, Nobody Gets Out Alive, and then some brand new Flotsam and Jetsam, I Am the Weapon, and then we should be ready for that next interview. So I'm kind of digging the Accept, and I really enjoy the Flotsam. So let's do Accept first. Here you go.
There's old and there's lazy.
Hey, it sounds great. I am the weapon, man. Eric A.K. His vocals are still killer. We'll have them on the show, I know, pretty soon. Same with Wolf Hoffman. I wanted to reach out to Wolf directly to come on because I see he's doing a lot of interviews. But he also is part of a radio management company that I deal with, and they book these interviews. So if I did it behind their back, they get kind of pissy. So I'm still waiting. But if I don't hear anything from them pretty soon about days that they're setting up for interviews, I probably will reach out to Wolf and get him on the show. I was listening to the new Motley Crue the other day. I could not get through that song, Dogs of War. Oh my God, it is just horrific. I mean, I wasn't expecting much from Motley Crue. I haven't since, maybe Dr. Feelgood. But I want to say that Vince Neil said that this song could have been on Dr. Feelgood. It was just that good. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, I thought he was off of drugs at that point in time in the band's career. But I guess it must have still been high because this does not sound like it could have been on Dr. Feelgood. And to me, that was the last decent record. The self-titled Motley Crue record from '94 wasn't horrible, but like Generation Swine, A New Tattoo, and then The Saints of Los Angeles, they were pretty bad records. But compared to this, they're looking like rock stars, those albums. It's just a bad record. And I'm not just saying that because Mick Mars isn't in the band. I just don't know. Somebody put up a post about them like going overboard with the AI. And I just think it was a bullshit thing. I mean, they definitely do a lot of, shit, in the recording studio that they can't recreate live. And according to Mick Mars, they're not even really playing live. So who knows? We'll have to see what happens with that. All right, let's wait a few minutes. Matt should be calling in any second. Let me get this phone line up and running over here. Let's make sure we're ready when he is. Because for some reason, the calls come through on one area. Here we go. We got him on the line right now. Perfect timing, huh? All right. Matt, this is Mike. You're on the air live. How are you?
Good. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing great, man. It's a pleasure to have you on here today. I'm excited. Burning Legion, finally a record. We've been teased with some music here and there. Must be a big thing for you right now.
Oh, it is. It is. Things are going really good. The band is really excited to see the response that we're having. People are digging it. People are, messaging us and understanding, that there's a lot of hard work that went into it. But we're excited where we're at right now.
I'm happy for you guys. And, kind of going back to the beginning for people that don't know about the band, this sort of all kind of formed out of some of your solo work, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it was formed out of that just because we didn't know each other yet, and using my solo stuff as kind of a good foundation and understanding how we were going to work with each other, and so that's why working with Adrian and Eric, we kind of just said, hey, why don't we just put stuff together as a band and just go from there.
Yeah, like I said, you guys weren't familiar with each other yet. And that seems to be the way things are today. People reach out to each other that they hear on the internet and they make contact. And, you can form a band with members from all over the world, all over the country. How did you happen to find these two guys?
It's funny. It's just it sounds funny because it's just as simple as it is. It's just through Instagram.
Yeah.
They started following me. I started following them. We had some mutual friends, just, communication and just networking, and all it is was just like, I looked at these guys' profile pictures and messaged them, kind of communicating, what are you into, what kind of bands you like, hey, why not, kind of threw a Hail Mary and, we made a touchdown.
Yeah, it definitely worked out for you guys, without a doubt. I mean, when you decide, hey, look, we got things in common. This is where we want to do. And is there a formative direction from the beginning? Do you say, you know what, we're going to be a power metal band, a death metal band, an extreme metal band? Is there anything where you go back and forth on what the sound should be like? Because it's coming out of what you originally did as a solo artist, but now you have two other people that want to contribute. So where does the music go from there?
Well, it's very interesting you asked that because we just want to write heavy stuff, man, and we're kind of in that generation where we're not really trying to fit into a box, because I think the best musicians aren't the ones that you put into a box because we'll have ideas, and as Burning Legion, we don't have we don't feel like we need to bring each other down, or if we bring something into a band meeting or to anything, we just kind of look at it as like, okay, how can we morph this into something that's going to sound, like Burning Legion, or how is it going to best express the way we're feeling in the song, right? Because again, with the album In Sabanur, we were really happy in the fact that it was kind of like a mutation, right? It was a bunch of different styles of metal, kind of blended in that. And even though it was a lot of different styles of metal, we just said, let's just go for it,
Yeah.
we just said, hey, it still kind of sounds like Burning Legion. So that's the best way I could describe it. It's just like we kind of just sit with whatever is being tossed out creatively, and what is and just how are we feeling with it.
I mean, it's like an anything goes type of thing where, you submit it, we try to work on it. Was it difficult trying to mesh and meld different sounds and elements together to create what you created?
To be honest with you, not really, because I mean, again, it goes back to chemistry and it goes back to personality. With myself, I'm an easygoing guy. Adrian, he's one of the nicest dudes in the world, even though we call him the Riff Beast. And Eric, we call him the Architect, the new nickname, the Architect, because he has such a passion for putting music together, and all of us kind of know our role. There's no ego. There's no, oh, I'm the bassist and I'm the person that runs Burning Legion behind the scenes. No, there's none of that. So I think that's the good thing about all three of us, is that we know each other's role and we respect each other as musicians, right? I think nowadays, especially, it doesn't matter if it's in a studio or it doesn't matter if you're in a garage. You got to really respect the other person's creativity, right? You might like, hey, I might not like that riff, but maybe 5 hours from now or 5 days from now, you might be like, hey, that riff that my buddy wrote, hey, we could work on that. So I think it's just having good chemistry really, really goes a long way.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to correct you on one thing. I think you are the most important member of the band because you're the bass player. And being a bass player myself, I know how important you are to everything in the music world.
Yeah, well, we're the foundation, man.
That's right.
They need us.
Without us, music
they're
wouldn't
jealous
exist.
because they're not us. Exactly, exactly.
You're right about that. But,
Yeah.
the title of the album is so original and different. What does it mean?
So it's funny because behind the scenes and just personality wise, I was kind of the guy just always spitballing ideas creatively, not music wise, but just like artwork and all that type of stuff. And I'm a really big nerd behind the scenes. Like I love comic books, I love fantasy stuff, and En Sabanor is actually a play on from X-Men. So En Sabanor is actually what they call the mutant apocalypse
Oh, God,
in
that's right.
X-Men. Yeah, yeah, and so it's the first one. So when I'm listening to this album and us putting things together, I'm like, man, this album is starting to kind of sound like a mutant.
Yeah.
And then the guys were like, yeah, it's kind of like crazy. It's kind of like morphing into something that we've never really heard before. I'm like, yeah, kind of like apocalypse. And I was like, oh, and then that's when it clicked. I was like, well, this is the first album we're doing, and this is the first one. So we said, hey, let's just go with In Salvador.
After you said that, I was like, oh, the X-Men, damn it. How did I not put that together? But yeah, I wasn't even
Yeah, a
thinking
lot
that.
of people, a lot
Yeah.
of people were like, yeah, so people forget about that. Like they're like, hey, wait, is that from X-Men? I'm like, yeah, it's a little wink,
Yeah.
from X-Men, just for the comic book people out there, because metal, comic books, fantasy, obviously, as you said earlier, power metal. We're nerds, So I was just like, this works out pretty great.
Yeah, it all goes together perfectly fine. And this time, you guys did it all on your
Hmm.
own, right? There was no label involved in it?
No, no, there was no label involved. Completely self-distributed. Well, I mean, obviously through DistroKit, but I mean, no label, nothing like that. Just completely DIY.
I mean, a label's not what it used to be. It's not even that important anymore. I mean, you do get a little benefit with distribution, but that's just about it. So, is there something that you're looking to shop around now to a label to get that little extra distribution, or you'd rather just be independent and do it on your own?
It depends. I mean, as Burning Legion, and this is something that we discussed as all three of us, is that no, we're not opposed to it, and again, just depending on it has to make sense. The fine print has to be read. Reading between the lines, it doesn't matter. A lot of, again, as you said, yeah, there's some labels that are kind of iffy, but again, it has to make sense to us, because we're guys that are in their mid-30, we got families, we got mouths to feed, so it has to make sense for what we're doing. I mean, right now we're having fun, we're loving it, we're just trying to be part of the community, we're just trying to be in this big, vast, ocean and planet of heavy music, and we're just happy that we even put music out. If people, in suits want to talk to us, okay, whatever. But for the most part, we would just want to write music.
And that's what music is all about. I always felt like when the business part got involved with the music part, that's when things became disastrous. But unfortunately, if you go back to the 70s, the 80s when heavy metal started coming up and rising, you had to get signed to a label back then. The technology wasn't really there to do things on your own. The internet wasn't around, it wasn't invented yet. You had to really have a label behind you. You don't really need that anymore. It's not important. And they pretty much want you to come to them with a finished product anyway, like, okay, we'll help get it out for you. So there's really, to me, no benefit of even being involved with it.
Yeah, and I agree. I completely agree with you. But and then I also, there's it just depends on the artist. It depends what you're looking for. It depends what you're shopping for. I think Zach Wild said it best. He's like, the record company wants you to succeed because they're upfronting the music, but then, or I'm sorry, upfronting the money
Yeah.
for the music, which is again different. As you said, that there's different. It's a different time, technology. Again, both parties have to agree, and a lot of fine print, a lot of things. So it just depends on what the band wants and what the record want, or I'm sorry, what the label wants. So, I mean, yeah, sometimes we kind of have this negative connotation of them, but they got a job to do too. You know what I mean? So it just depends whatever that they want. And I think especially in like where we're at right now, we have to educate ourselves, right? Just understanding what our contracts, what's the best way to get your music out, licensing, publishing, stuff like that. And sometimes, right, especially metal musicians, we're kind of just like, oh, these are big words, whatever, I'll just, I just want to I just want to shred, just like, fucking like, Ingve Malmsteen,
Yeah.
but it's like, well, take a second, take a break, and just read some important things, and like, what other artists learn from them, because there's the business side, and it's unfortunate, it is a business, and we do have to learn.
True. I mean, you'll hear the same story from every artist that got signed to every major or minor label over the years. Oh, we didn't know what we were signing. We put our name on paper. They own the rights to our music. We can't get it back. We can't do this. They laid out $100,000 for the record. We only made 10,000 on it. We owe them $90,000. It's the same story from every band. You don't know what you'll get until
Correct.
you get
Yeah.
it. That kind of. So a lot of those
Exactly.
bands are
Exactly.
interested. Like they don't even care about the labels no more. They're like, I'll do it on my own. I'll roll the dice.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. There's also success stories. You know what I mean? So it's again, you gotta just you got because one thing I've learned, and growing up and just seeing all other musicians, it doesn't matter if it's metal or not, no one's gonna care about your music as much as you do, right?
True.
So that's gonna be your baby, that's gonna be your creative, juices, and you want to protect it, So it's just, educate yourself, right? Shake the right hands, understand, do you really want to put yourself out there, And I think one of the best people in our time in just music was just Prince, and how he was just kind of like foreshadowing that, like, hey, we're not even going to need labels later, and look at 25 years later, he was right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy.
That's so true. I mean, was this started as a studio project originally, or are you looking to take it live, like on a regular basis? And like I said, you guys got families, other things to do, and just taking off like weeks on end, it probably can't be done with a lot of planning going behind it. But are you looking to take this thing live? I know it's not so easy with members being from different places, but is it something that you're looking to do?
That's a great question. Yeah, so we are looking for that. I mean, right now we're actually speaking to a couple drummers and a couple singers that could fill in for what we're doing, obviously. And we're thinking about just doing maybe like one-offs, maybe like a festival, or here and there. I mean, a touring, yeah, that's something we would love to do, and maybe that's something in what we could do as Burning Legion. But as of right now, we're just happy to have the album out, see how people are receptive to it. People, we want to grow the audience before we actually start making those really, really big decisions to like take the stage. But if we have the opportunity, then we'll definitely take it.
How do you try to grow your audience today? I mean, what is the best way for you to do it? Is it just getting on social media and bombarding people with, the name of the band, or on Facebook or any other site that's out there, Bandcamp? Or do you have to do, are there other ways of doing it today?
Well, I mean, that's the biggest way, to be honest with you. And I'm
Yeah.
old school too. I remember just going to Guitar Center and putting up the flyers, and and or Sam Ash or wherever it may be, and just kind of just like, hey, check out my band, or going to your friends' shows and just like passing out stickers and flyers and stuff. But it's really, really hard, especially when you get into your mid 30s. Because you're working overtime, you got family and all that stuff. So, I mean, social media has always been a good thing that we need to embrace, especially as a band. Yeah, we pay for advertisement, we pay for this, but it's also, connecting. I myself and Adrian and Eric, we personally handle the social medias, the Bandcamp. So it's us communicating and engaging back with our fans or the people that we connect with. We actually had a really good person from Alabama do a review for us, and I reached out to him and I was just, hey, again, thank you so much for your time, for just checking out, even if if you didn't really like in Seven North, but it felt really good to just connect with somebody and just say, hey, thank you for listening to our music, right? So I think more than anything, engagement is the best way, right? Because they could say like, oh, those guys from Bernie Legion are really nice, or they're easy to get along with, or they're easy to work with, and they're very appreciative of the people that are listening to their music.
That's so true. When you're nice to people, it's hard for them to not like your band, even if they don't like your band. That's just the way it
Oh
goes. But
yeah, yeah.
you're gonna have fans of your music, like every band, and you're gonna have your detractors. Not everybody likes everything that everybody's doing out there. It's okay to say, you guys are doing what you're doing. I dig it, but I'm just not into that music. So, how do you handle the detractor part of it? I mean, do you get upset when people don't like the music? Because it is like you said, it's like your baby. You put your heart and soul into it. But if it's okay to people say, well, it's just not for me. But then you got ones that get really nasty about it too.
Yeah, no, and I've actually had people close to me who listen to the album. They're like, "Hey, you know what? This isn't my thing." Who are into metal, and I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I appreciate you listening to it, taking the time to at least try to understand it. But no, it's nothing that I would get upset about. I usually get upset about if people go to the extent where they have to talk smack or they have to bring it into a real negative light. Like like, oh, like this has been done before or whatever, or just very, very hard looking at the negative things. It's just like for an example, like I like putting this example during interviews, is like, for me personally, I'm not a big fan of Trivium, but I respect Matt Huffy and Corey, all those guys that are in that band, as great. They're phenomenal musicians, man. It's just me. I don't groove to it, but all the respect and love in the world. I still wish them to succeed, right? So I think that's the thing for me, is just respecting at least respect it. That's it. You know what I mean? Just not going to the extent where you're gonna have to go out and bash people, because I mean, dude, it's music, man. Like I can't expect everybody to like Bernie Lee's. That's not a realistic expectation. My expectation is like, hey, I'm writing it, and that's all I could do, right? I can't force people to like it.
Very true. I mean, yeah, literally just came out, a couple of weeks ago, the beginning of the month. I mean, it was like April 3rd, around that time was the official release date for the record. How do you feel it's going out there right now? I mean, I know you're doing interviews, the music's being played around. Are you getting some good feedback on it? Are you happy with what you're hearing?
Yeah, I am actually. I mean, it's all been positive. I mean, maybe a couple naysayers here and there, if that, but nothing to the extent that I can't focus too much on what the negative is, and I'm really happy how people are being receptive to it. I love the honest feedback. I love how friends and family are being receptive to it. Again, like, just that alone is just a blessing to me. Just the fact that, hey, people have something to talk about, right? Or have people are like, hey, I really like that part in this song or whatever. All right, cool. We could talk about that, and it's going good. It's funny because we just had a band meeting, and we're talking about all the new stuff that we're coming up with, and it's just like, let's just keep going. And we're looking at the numbers, and our numbers are doing phenomenal. Especially for a band that has never played a live show. You know what I mean? So
True.
we're looking at, like, not bad for a band that's just like putting out music. So yeah, I'm happy, man. I'm blessed.
That's good. Well, I know you were saying earlier you're going to work on the vocals and the drumming to try to get out there and do it live. Is it something that you're looking to do right away? I know you said you want to kind of build up the audience first and get it out there, but I mean it is kind of important to go out there and play live. I mean to let people hear and see you, in person. So is that something that you're looking to try to accomplish this year? Or you're just going to let it go until you feel the time, is actually right?
I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to. That's a great question. It's just, it's one of those things. It's like, if the fan base is there and it's growing more and more, and there's a demand, then us three will have that conversation. We're like, okay, what can we do, right? Because again, Eric is in Connecticut. Me and Adrian are closer to each other. We're probably like maybe 30, 40 minutes away, but it's got to make sense, and we already have a couple. Like I said, we have a good network of people because I've done my podcast for called Beyond the Heavy, and I've met amazing musicians that are like, hey, we'll help you guys out, which is a very very good compliment, and it's a very very good honor to have when you connect with people. Like, hey, I like you, Matt. I like what you're doing. Let me help you out, which is a very very sweet thing to me. And if it does come down the road, hey, we'll sign sign what we got to do for that day, and make a quick trip to Guitar Center, buy some new equipment, and then just go from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll see what we could do. We'll see what we got.
True. I mean, is making connections still that important in the business? I mean, especially like when you're friends with other bands, you're like, oh, we need a band to get onto this gig with us, and you help each other out. And that was always important back in the day. At least when I was in a band, we got most of our shows through friends that were in other bands more than any other way of getting them. So, is it important to still make those connections, with other band members, whether it's for, something in the studio or something live? I mean, is it important to have that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think that's the whole point of Burning Legion is that we connect with other people and we're collaborating with because we don't have an official singer, we don't have an official drummer, but as me, Adrian, and Eric as the core three, but we rise up other people. We shout out other people on our page because our our success is their success, right? We can't. It's a scene, so the scene is only going to thrive on how you're going to perceive it and how you're going to take care of it. Because we got buddies from shout out to my buddies from Titan's Wrath and Holy Grail. I'm sorry, Holy Wretched and stuff like. They're phenomenal players, and these are local cats, and we support by getting their T-shirt, the merch, and all this stuff. Because we you have to, because it's not you can't survive and think of like, oh, okay, well, we're Burning Legion, so we're just gonna be on these like towers and just hide ourselves from everybody. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, it's not realistic. You got to shout out your friends. You got to support the up and comings, right? These young cats that are coming out. You have to. There's no other way. And me, Eric, and Adrian feel very, very strongly about that.
When you look for a singer, are you looking for somebody to kind of recreate vocal that was done on the record, or are you just looking for anybody that can sing that can take the band in a different direction if they need to go that way?
That's a great question. I mean, if it's a live situation, hopefully we create, and again, more than anything, somebody that's professional and that could, handle business and understand what we're looking for. I mean, vocally, we're already talking about next EP, and maybe we'll go with the same vocals. We're not sure yet, but we just more than anything. I think we talked about we just need somebody aggressive,
Yep, absolutely.
That's what Legion is. But for the most part, we're just looking for anybody that's professional and that could get the job done. Right. That's all we ask for. We're not one of those like, oh, they got to sing high and they got to do the pick skills. No. We're not doing that. We're in 2024. Let's just handle business. You know what I mean?
Well, how's the scene in California today? Is it pretty active? I mean, is there enough going on out there to keep you busy when you get started, or is there enough musicians like to draw from for talent if you need it, or you really have to look outside these days?
It just depends. It just depends. I mean, networking. I mean, it's going to be the top. It's going to be the best. Friend of a friend, or hey, like I could do this and do that. But the scene in California, it's okay. I mean, it could be better. I feel like there's a lot of fresh talent and a lot of young cats that are really hungry, right? That are really perfecting their craft and just trying to get some shows to just do their thing. But I feel like California and LA it's not where it's at. I'm hearing like Texas is really good. Up in Washington and Oregon, things are starting to pop up. Florida's coming back with that death metal, which is great. Close to Eric, where he lives in Connecticut, I know there's some stuff coming up. So, I mean, California, we're lacking it, and that's just me. That's coming from a California boy.
Yeah.
So and I'm just saying that the scene is dying over here, and And there's a lot. I'm telling you, there's a lot of great guys out here. A lot that I had the pleasure of interviewing on my podcast. So if people could just check out that, let's build it back up.
It's amazing when you say stuff like that because California back in the 80s was a place every band, every musician wanted to go to strike it rich, to make it big.
Hmm.
That was especially the LA area. That was it. You had the thrash metal bands up in the Bay, and then you had all the hair metal bands down in LA. But every band wanted to go there to break big, and it's like it's just like all the bands in Europe back then wanted to come to America to make it. Now everybody in America is going to Europe. It's just amazing how things have changed over 30 years. I know it's a long time, but I'm just saying, it's like night and day.
No. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, because I think the last of the dying breed are, and if I understand what you're saying correctly, is like, Testament, Exodus, those guys,
Yeah,
coming in the mid '90s, holding that flag, and that we're from the Bay Area, and that waved that flag, and even Slayer to an extent. But after that, you got bands like Lamb of God that are coming out of Richmond, Virginia, completely changing the game. You know what I mean? Guys from Hatebreed, just so California really, really, lost it, and you know what? That's okay because it's a shit show out here. I'm just being honest. Yeah, and I love California, but I'm already thinking, I'm just trying to get out of here.
oh God. Well, maybe now that Burning Legion is here, California will get better again. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Only time will tell, just, only time will tell. But the main thing is just connecting with people, right? And just, commenting back, liking other people's stuff, spreading the positivity. Because that's what Burning Legion's about, is just spreading the positivity, and not here to, step on any other bands. Because I hate when other bands that are trying to make it up and they're just like, oh, let's talking smack on this band or step on other people, and I can't see, those bands don't last long because that's not quality stuff, man. So it's like we all gotta come together and just support each other.
That's so true, and that's what made this scene great in the beginning. Hopefully, it'll get that way again. But man, I'm gonna let you go because I want to play some music. I got another guest lined up right after you. But where's the best place to keep up with Burning Legion, to find out what's going on, and let people know where they can listen to your podcast also?
Absolutely. No, and thank you so much for your time, and thank you for having me on your show. The best place to find us is on Instagram at burning.legion.metal. And we do have a TikTok with the same name. And then best way to listen to us is on Spotify. We're going to start looking at getting maybe some physical copies of the album, some CDs. And in addition to that, we're going to have some merch kind of rolling out in the next couple of weeks or so. And then, just go from there. But again, Burning Legion or burning.legion.metal, and you'll find us there.
That sounds great, man. The best of luck with the band. I'm looking forward to the next record.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, let's get on some Burning Legion. How about we do Power Beyond Death?
Till there's nothing left, power belongs.
All right, Burning Legion, Power Beyond Death. We're gonna get, we already spoke with Lee during the week. We've recorded the interview, so I have to apologize now. I don't know what happened. The interview didn't record. The audio came out corrupted. There was no way of using it. I have a thing that backs up my interviews, my recordings, but it only recorded me for some reason and not Lee. So you only hear Lee through my mic set. So I kind of up the volume on him. I try to lower mine. The audio was all over the place. It's high in some spots, low in others, but it was the best I could do to salvage it. I mean, I apologize to everybody listening, to Lee. I just don't know what happened. I'm not really good with that Zoom. I've used it twice and I got lucky, but this time my luck ran out. But we'll get that interview on in about 10 minutes or so. Christian requested a real digging deep gold mine song. He went to Steel Moon, Spy versus Spy. So let's get that on for Christian. We'll do one or two more tunes, then we'll get into the new Cloven Hoof, and we'll talk to Lee right after that. All right, here you go, Steel Moon for Christian.
Deep into the shadows.
so good. Dragon Slayer, the Slayer, and right before that, Baby Taku with Hot Wheels. They were like more in the hard rock vein than heavy metal, but I really like those guys. They were around in the mid '80s. They put out two records. The singer left the band. My good friend David Reese stepped in around '88 to fill the void, but they never recorded anything with them. Or if they did, they never released it. I have to ask them the next time I talk to him because they were pretty good. I would like to hear them with David on vocals. All right, well, this weekend was the Keep It True Festival. I saw some videos of my boys in Attacker. They were just killing it. The room was packed. Sacred Warrior sounded really good. Heavy Low weren't bad, like a little heavy on the keyboards, but that's the way they've been going lately. Not bad, but I know the big announcement was next year. It's the 25th anniversary for Keep It True, and most of the bands that are going to be in the lineup were announced, this past Wednesday. And I have to tell you, I wasn't very impressed. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I guess I'm a hard guy to impress. I don't know, but once again, the headliner, Riot. Riot headlined Keep It True 2 years ago, or Keep It True Rising. I don't remember which one, but they headlined 2 years ago. In 2023, why are you bringing them back again 24 months later? And the best is they advertise it as Riot, not even Riot 5, which is technically their new name since Mark Rial passed away. But they put up as Riot. And it's the 50th, they're doing a 50th anniversary tribute to the band. It's the 50th anniversary. Meanwhile, out of the 5 guys in the band, one guy wasn't even born until 14 years after the band started, and the other 4 guys in the band were between the ages of 2 and 9. But they're doing the 50th anniversary of the band, and no guy in the band was in the band. They were no older than 9 years old when the band started out. So go figure. I just don't get it. I don't know. But there is one more headliner to be announced. Hopefully it's somebody special. We'll have to see. All right, let's get the brand new Cloven Hoof. My good friend Lee Payne did it once again. I was like, when George was in the band, I thought they were doing so great with him, and things kind of fell apart, and we talked with Lee about that a little bit. But Healing Cross came out, and, you have Harry Conklin from Jack Panzer on vocals. I thought, Harry's got such a distinctive voice. I didn't know how it was going to work, but I absolutely love this record. So let's get on the Redeemer. We'll talk to Lee. We'll get on one more song, and we're going to wrap it up here. In case I run out of time towards the end of the night, don't forget to tune in next week. Derek Davis from Babylon AD is our guest. That's going to be a great one. And Alex Staropoli from Rhapsody of Fire. Every time someone interviews Alex, they just say Alex is on the show because they can't pronounce his last name. I guess you got to be a greaseball to get it right. But Alex Staropoli will be on the show next week. So here you go. Cloven Hoof off of Healing Cross, Redeemer.
Just up, brother?
Hey, Lee, how are you? I can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, oh, that's half the back of his ear. Yeah, absolutely awesome.
You too, my friend. I am so bad with technology. I can't figure this stuff out no matter how hard I try it. It just keeps moving on without me.
You're not alone. I'm the same. If it can go wrong, it does.
Absolutely. But you know what? Things are going really right for you right now because what an amazing record you put out. Not to say that you haven't done it before in the past, but this one is just, I think, above and beyond anything you've ever done before.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know, it's like right away there was a certain magic to it all the time. And, you know, like, because I was writing for Harry as well, it just let me do whatever I like. Because sometimes, you know, you get vocalists and you kind of play to their safety zone. But Harry can sing anything fantastic, and he's very passionate and very professional. He really knows how to sell a song. So I was able to just give him whatever I wanted, you know, like. And you know, it just came together so quickly. The chemistry is amazing in the band, you know. So you know, like. I'm really proud of this one. You know.
That's the most important thing is when the chemistry is right. I think it shows in the music. And you know, the last time we spoke was 2 years ago when Time Assassin came out. You know, and George was in the band back then. Whatever happened. Life moves on. You know, I don't want to rehash old stuff and things like that. But I was surprised when I saw the band up on stage and Chris was on vocals and not George at that time. Nobody knew what was going on. You know, I figured maybe something with COVID and, you know, he couldn't get over. Then he came out and said that, you know, well, you know, Ollie doesn't like me, wouldn't fly me over. Lee wanted to play. And it moved on, and that's what happened. But I'm sure there's more to it than that. I don't know if it's really relevant anymore.
I mean, it's as simple as this. I can tell you exactly what it was. I mean, unfortunately for George, he's got sort of a beef like with Ollie, and it's from his Omen days. Something happened, and you know, like Owen had a fallout and whatever it was, and you know, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But he had a beef with Ollie, and why George isn't in the band? It's pure and simple. We had something that you know, like in America, I'm sure everyone's aware of Brexit. We had a Brexit thing here,
Yep.
And Brexit was like you leaving the European Union, which was insanity for a lot of reasons. But the biggest reason for musicians was everything. There's no cheap flights. Everything's cost double, almost treble now. So it made the flights and everything, the logistics impossible. So, you know, as much as I love George as a person, and, you know, he's a great performer, great voice, wonderful frontman, everything, it's just too expensive. We couldn't do it, you know, because the flights were just too expensive to America, you know, to keep it up. So, you know, we had to do the same thing like with Danny, really. You know, we couldn't have like both of them because it was getting bad. But when Brexit kicked in, it was just like a nightmare. You know, the prices just went up, and there was no cheap airfare, and it cost a fortune. So we couldn't have somebody based in America as much as we love America. So look for somebody sort of Europe-based, really. Anyway, and luckily for me, it kind of leads into how we got Harry in the band, really. So with that in mind, you know, we have to have somebody amazing, because the bar's already set up there, you know. Like, and there's a lot of expectation on our album, so we've got to have, you know, a fantastic singer, you know, beyond a doubt. And I met Harry at the same Keep It True concert that George played, you know, like when I first met George. And Harry was just like there was a special segment at the end of a superstar, new wave sort of British sort of heavy metal and sort of superstar band at the end of the night, and just Harry completely stole the show. It was incredible. But you know, as luck would have it, we gave him a lift to, you know, I wasn't aware of Harry at the time, you know, like, and he needed a lift to the show, you know. He stopped at that same hotel as us, and I said, "Oh, you're going to keep your no worries, you come down with us." So he travelled down in the van, and we got on with him. And then the next thing I know, he's out there absolutely owning the stage, you know, like incredible. So when we needed a recruitment, Harry had always stayed in my head because I know, although he's from America, obviously, you know, and the Jack Panzer and everything. I know he's based in Greece.
Yeah.
And as luck would have it, the stars align. I know his wife really, really well. She's a huge Cloven Hoof fan. And I went and texted her. I went, do you think Harry had joined Cloven Hoof? You know, like if I asked him. And about 10 minutes later, just the answer came back, yeah, I'm in.
That was great.
Oh, yeah. He didn't even need to think about it, you know, like, so the stars were, you know, just completely lined up, you know, and he's just so professional. I'm just knocked out, you know, with what a lovely guy he is as well. But what a singer. You know.
He's absolutely amazing. I know when everything went down last year, you sent me a message, you know, saying that Harry is going to be the new singer of the band. I was like, holy cow. I mean, I never saw that coming. I was blown away. You know, I didn't know how it was going to be with George when he joined the band because, you know, bringing some sort of American into such a profound English band, but it worked. And I said, you know what? Harry being the vocalist he is, I know this is going to be great. And then it was announced, and it seemed to be like a little hesitation, I guess, on Harry's part because I guess maybe the other guys in Jack Panzer didn't know what was going on yet, and they weren't aware of it. But I had Harry on the show last summer. And I said, you know, are you going to be in Cloven Hoof? Are you going to be a part of the band? He goes, I hope so. He goes, I really want to be in that band. I want to play with them. He was so excited to want to be a part of it, you know. And that was, I guess, right when you were getting ready to work on this new record.
Yeah, it's such an honour that there's somebody great as that, you know. You know, that he really loves the music and everything, and you just see, you know, the enthusiasm in everything he does, you know. And as a human being, he's the most lovely guy. And we just hit it off right away. You know, there's like people like you like immediately, and Harry's one of those people, you know, like, and he genuinely is a lovely guy. So we got the same kind of sort of musical taste as well, and just the way he sings and the way he performs, you know, like it was just like Cloven Hoof to a T, you know. And I feel really lucky, you know, having him part of the band, you know. We've done a few live shows, and oh my God, live he's just as good.
That's true.
Like a dream come true, mate. You know, he really is. And the songs, he didn't need sort of, you know, you sent him the songs, and you don't even need to coach him. He's on it right away. Like everything he sent us has been so on the money. It's unbelievable, you know. And you know, I think we've really raised the bar. I mean, everybody from the live shows who went, you know, all the times we've seen you, like in Europe, we went, this is amazing. It's like you've just gone up a gear, and I think we have as well. You know, live we're going to take some beating, you know, because it's you know, it's such a great lineup.
You know, you never know what you're going to get until you actually get into the studio, get onto that stage and play live. And I saw a couple of the live clips, and Harry handles every era of the band that you play live perfectly. I mean, he kind of owns it. And that's a hard thing to do because, I mean, you've been in this position plenty of times, Lee, over your career. Singers come and go, a singer come and go, and, you know, you never know what you're going to get. But having somebody that can handle the whole catalog of different singers, and let's be honest, your band never stays the same. I mean, musically, you know who it is, you know what the sound is, but you always come up with something new and something different. The band is always progressing. You didn't say we're going to be holding to that first record, that new wave of British heavy metal sound and era. You guys have moved on with the times, but yet it's still classic metal through and through. And I think that's a testament of to your songwriting.
Oh, thank you so much. You hit it on the head. That's exactly what I want, you know, like, and you know, like once you made an album, that's it, you know, like, and it's like you have to keep progressing because if you don't progress, you stagnate. And I always like to keep every album with its own identity and keep moving forward. You see, you know, I know what our bandwidth is. I know what we can't go past. You know, it's like, I try to write as a fan of the band as well, if you will. I mean, sometimes some musicians, you know, like they get into certain kind of things, maybe like, oh, I'm into jazz this week, and they kind of drag that sort of stuff into their music. But I know what our fans expect of us, and you know, I always try to keep it new and keep moving forward, and you know, keep them guessing really. And I feel every one of our albums kind of unique. It's got its own identity and stuff, and you know, it's kind of tough, you know. but I'm very sort of self-critical. I'm always analysing everything, and before any of the band, get these songs, I've lived with them sort of inside out, and I've really kind of picked them to pieces because I want to make the best possible album for the fans, and they're my prime motivation, really. As long as they still love the band, I'll keep on coming up with this music for them.
I'm glad.
And but this is definitely, like you just know it yourself. This is definitely a milestone for the band. This is definitely the best album we've ever done. The production's fantastic. The vocals are fantastic, and all the songs really work coherently with each other. And I'm really pleased with this new one.
You should be. It's just an amazing record, Lee. And what you just said, I think, was so important. You said, I write like I'm a fan of the band and what they want, because so many bands today, I mean, listen, what we were into 30, 40 years ago changes in time. Every couple of years a new sound comes out, new music comes out, and we're always influenced and interested in something new. But a fan, knows Black Sabbath for what Black Sabbath is. They know Cloven Hoof for what Cloven Hoof is. They want to hear that. They want to hear Iron Maiden for Iron Maiden. They don't want to hear Iron Maiden doing jazz. They don't want to hear Iron Maiden doing this. They want to hear what they're used to. That's what I feel like. If you want to do something different, you can always start a different band or a different project or do something differently. You've done that before, and you've done that before with the other bands too. I mean. But you make Cloven Hoof the priority where, you say, hey, I know what my fans want and I'm going to deliver. But, I'm also going to move the band forward. But you manage to meld them both together perfectly.
Oh, thank you so much. And the best market research you can ever do is that we've never sort of hidden away from the fans. We're at a gig. It doesn't matter how big the gig is, whatever. We always go out and mingle with them, we have the photographs taken with them and stuff, because we love hanging out with them. But also, it's great because they tell you exactly what they love about the band.
Yeah.
And it's kind of you doing market research, and so I'm always sort of taking it on board, okay, so why do you love the band, and what particular sort of albums did you like, and I really take it on board. So I'm constantly trying to sort of deliver for them, and some bands lock themselves away, hey, we're stars, but for heaven's sake, they turn up at the gigs, they give you the love, they buy the tickets, they buy the t-shirts, they've got the albums. The least you could do is spend some time with them, having photographs and signing autographs, and anyway, they're our kind of people, so. Who wouldn't enjoy doing that anyway? But that's a core thing. Without the fans, a band's nothing. So just over the years, they've just stuck with us. What is it? Over 44 years. Oh
it's crazy, right? I still think it's like I still in my mind I'm still like 18 years old mentally, so I never feel like I moved on from there. But when you say 44 years, like I remember buying that first record. I remember going to my import store and getting it, and you can't believe how quickly time just keeps moving on, and before you know it, it is going to be 50 years for Cloven really soon.
It really will, yeah, and so that's a milestone, isn't it? I've got to save up something really special for the 50th. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, It's like when you write, like with me, it's very sort of intense, and I just, it's like switching on a tape machine, so many ideas come out, and there's no doubt about it. I've definitely got the next two albums.
Oh man, that's great.
There's two more really, really good albums sort of lying around. So so it's exciting times for the Hoof fans, and hopefully, like with Harry and stuff, maybe we'll even outdo ourselves on the next one. But, one step at a time, isn't it?
That's right. You're gonna have a tough job at doing. Are you always writing, or do you just say, hey, you know what? When you think about it, the band has really been putting out like a record every 2 years. For like the last decade. It's been pretty consistent. I saw that little bit of COVID where it took an extra year, which is this is almost like the old days where the band put out a record, they went out on tour, they put out a record. Are you always writing, or do you just say, hey, you know what? It's time for a record next year. I'm going to sit down and write, or you just always working on music?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing ever for me is like, I always write the same way, really. And, most of the Cloven Hoof songs get written in the car, like I'm alone with myself in the car. And, I always start from a melody line, and it's usually the chorus, because that's your hook line, and it kind of works from there. But, like a lot of bands just write sort of riffs, and then they sing on riffs, and like at the end of the day, like, there's no right or wrong ways for writing songs, but I think it's much more imaginative, having the melody lines, and then I'll write the music to fit the song, rather than the other way around, and people just end up singing a riff. It ends up like Ozzy does that, and he does it does it fantastically, and it really works. But I like to like the classical composers. Really, you're actually writing music to a theme. I'm constantly amazed at the ideas that you come up with. Like when you sort of sit back and just think, oh my God, like you've created like something like out of nowhere. But in answer to your question, what I actually do, I have these ideas going through in my head for quite a while, and ideas which you just sing into your phone, and then I put time aside to go, okay, I'm gonna put all these songs down now, and I have a very intense sort of creative period, really, of just me and demoing everything up, putting the drum machine, starting with the guitars, and singing the melody line and stuff, and it's like a jigsaw how it kind of builds up. It's kind of a magical kind of process, like I'm just really glad I can do it.
Sure.
Mind you, after all these years, I should know what I'm doing by now.
Yeah, I would hope so. But you know what? You really never repeat yourself. And when you listen to the new record, like all Cloven Hoof records, the riffs are just incredible. They're so catchy. Everything just draws you in. That seems to be missing, and it has been missing for a long time with a lot of bands of music. There's nothing catchy anymore. There's no hook. There's no riff. There's nothing catchy. You guys, from the very beginning of this record, you hear that first opening riff, you're like, oh my, and you're blown away by it, because you know where the song is going to go. You know it's only going to get better, and there's going to be a great chorus. So, with all the years that you've been writing music, I mean, did you ever feel limited at any point in time in the band with what you could write or how you could present your songs, because maybe the singer that was in the band at that particular time wasn't able to handle what you could write or how you wanted it to go vocally with the music?
Actually, that's a great point. Great point. Yeah, it's happened quite a lot. It's like there's like we've always had really good singers, and I won't mention any names, but if I knew how he used to sing, I know what he can put over, and I know also what the weaknesses are. So you are limited, and you have to write in a certain way to get the most out of a singer. So it was the first time in the history of the band when George came in. You can broaden your outlook. It doesn't matter. The guy's going to be able to deliver and do a really good job. And the thing is with Harry, there's no limit. Harry can sing anything well.
True.
And, so it really freed me, I was just literally able to, he could sing whatever I could write, brilliantly. So, you just feel another sense of freedom, really, when you work with people as good as that. Otherwise, because before, there's certain limitations I can't go past because, like, the song just won't work. And I've had songs that were really good songs, but the vocals, it just wasn't happening. They didn't have the magic. And with people like Harry, like he just nails it. He knows exactly what you want, and he knows how to sell a song and live a song. Because to a certain degree, there's singers out there, they just like sing. It's just a melody line, but Harry lives it. You can actually feel, this is happening to this guy, and it's almost like being an actor, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
And you totally believe everything that Harry's singing at you, and he really knows how to live a song. And I don't think anybody lives a song better than him. And also, like he's got the edge over everybody else because of his, the aggression he can put in. Harry's more aggressive. When he needs to be. I mean, he can sing, lovely melodies, like, beautiful voice. But the thing is, Harry's got that extra magical ingredient with the with the aggression, and I've sort of searched all my career really for somebody that can deliver like that, so. I'm in a good place.
Yeah, he does. My first thought, like when I knew Harry was going to be in the band, and watching him perform live, it's great. And when the new record was being worked on, it was going to come out. I was like, Harry has such a distinctive voice, and he's so associated with Jack Panzer. Even though he sings with Satan Host and a few other bands and projects over the years, I was like, my God, I hope that this doesn't sound like Jack Panzer, because his voice is so identifiable with that band. And after I went to about a minute of the first song, I was like everything went out the window. I was like, nope, it's Harry singing, but it's Harry singing Cloven Hoof. And you could tell the difference. You knew there was something different there. It wasn't going to be like Jack Panzer Light or Jack Panzer Heavy. It was Cloven Hoof. And that was what I think was the most impressive thing, is how you brought such a specific vocal sounding style into the band and made it Cloven Hoof.
Yeah, I think it's chemistry as well, because like Harry knew exactly, what was expected, and you sort of when you send the songs off and stuff, and you kind of go like, you have an expectation level, I'm thinking, well, but it'll be good, it's going to be good anyway. But Harry's like exceeded on every song, like he knows how to make a song his own, and he really delivers, I've been sort of blown away every time I've been, how you doing with the vocals, because I'm dying to hear what he's done with them, and every one of them, I've been absolutely delighted with, he's the real deal.
I do we come from a generation where, everybody in the band had to be in the same room to practice, rehearse, record. It was done on reel-to-reel. Everything is digital today. People have studios in their homes, and they can record any way they want. And like it says, Harry probably recorded his vocals in Greece where he was. Everything comes back, gets put together. And I find it to be amazing how you can make a record so comprehensive and sound like everybody was there together doing it, where people can be playing from all over the place. It's a whole different world today. I mean, is this something that you've become adjusted to or used to, or something that you're in favor of, or you just say, this is, the hand that bands are dealt, and we work with it?
I think this is the other reason why Heathen Cross is very satisfying, because there's a certain amount of sort of process sound which kind of turns me off. Like today, there's too much Pro Tools, the human element's gone. So what I decided to do is I analysed why I keep going back to my favourite old albums. I always go back to sort of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath and Made in Japan and Rainbow Rising and Jailbreak and all those albums, and they were all like organic. It's a real band playing, and you're getting that live energy. So I was going, well, why doesn't people do that anymore? So this time we went back to with the bass and the drums, recorded at the same time. All the guitars were all recorded at the same time, because we were desperately trying to get that sort of live energy, from our live performance, and sort of lay down the album the way like Paranoid was. Everybody's like sort of all together, and you feed off that energy, and I think you can hear that in Heathen Cross now. There's that sort of live, sort of organic feel, rather than all these sort of processed Pro Tools thing. So I was trying to capture like the magic of those old albums, really, and I really do think we've done it, because although it's recorded very well and everything's really clear and modern production, we managed to get that live energy in there. So the guitars are roaring at you, and you can feel that's a proper band in a studio, rather than the process thing, because at the end of the day, that's why I love music, is because they sounded that it was a live band. So I think a lot of people are missing out on that. It just sounds too processed, too mechanical, and heavy metal is fantastic live music. So you should try and sort of inject that live energy into the album, and I think that's another plus for Heathen Cross as well. It's got that energy.
It absolutely does. I mean, so many bands today look back on their old catalog and they're like, I'm so disappointed in production. And, look, in the early 80s, most bands were getting started. The money wasn't there to go into a studio and spend, they didn't have Def Leppard type money back then, where it was like $7-8 million given to them to spend 3 years recording a record. You did the best you could with what the money you have, but the technology was what it was, no matter where you recorded back then. As the years went on, things became cheaper and easier, and things changed. The whole industry changed. The record companies weren't king anymore. Bands were doing everything on their own. Everything changes. But do you prefer, besides the live sound, do you prefer the recording the old way when you did it on a reel-to-reel and you kind of had to match everything up? And where today, if you do make a mistake, you can just click a button and pick up right where you left off?
Do you know, if I've got to be absolutely honest, I like the old analog.
Yeah.
I like being in a room with a drummer.
Yeah.
You can actually sort of, you just lock into the drums, and I have to. It's kind of weird in the studio as well, It's like, because I like to hear that bass drum, pushing air, and for a few albums you're not getting that, and it feels really sterile, and you're playing to a click all the time, and I miss that bass drum, and locking in with that snare, and I it's no contest really. I love the old way of recording, and it will be interesting maybe to absolutely go all out and definitely record, rough and ready. I'd love to do that as well on a future recording because I'm a big fan of that.
That would be great.
It's what it's that energy in the room. That's why live music is so fantastic. You're catching a vibe at that time. Exactly what the energy level that the band feels, and a lot of recording. It's just so sterile. You miss that. You miss that excitement. And I think like with Heathen Cross, it's actually coming out at you. You can tell that band's in the room.
Yeah.
That's important, and the guitars aren't like in the background. They're sort of assaulting you.
No, you feel this record when you play it, especially when you play it on a stereo. People should not be playing all their music through their phones. Get a stereo. You can get them anywhere today, pretty cheap. You have to hear it with real speakers. And that's the way it sounds phenomenal. I know most people, everything is digital today. They use their iPads or their phones, and that's where people get music and streaming services. But there's nothing like putting that vinyl record on the turntable, which I can't do right now because my needle, after 42 years, finally broke. I have to try to find a replacement needle for my turntable. But that's the real way to listen to music, in my opinion. It's like when you were a kid. You ran home with that record, you put it on in your room, and you played that crap out of it over and over again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There was playing a record.
You get the cover and everything. You read all the lyrics. You read everything. You read into it. It's like almost like a religious experience. And the biggest kick for me is if we can make metal fans feel how I did when I'm like listening to Thin Lizzy or Black Sabbath or Deep Purple.
Yeah.
It's a magical feeling. I've already that's just. You completely justify what you do by, if they enjoy your music like I enjoyed it, it just blew me away. And I'm exactly the same as you. I want the vinyl.
Yeah. Well, thank God they made such a comeback. It's great to buy them again. So, I remember as a kid getting that record in the record store, running home into my room, shutting my door, putting on that record. My parents used to think I had a Playboy magazine or something where I was running back into my room back then just to hear. It was an event. It was like watching a movie or going to see a play on Broadway. It was the same feeling. And I think, and it's been missing for so long. But I think this new generation, this younger generation. They're bringing it back in a way. They are living the way we used to live, 40, 50 years ago.
Fantastic. But it really was, you'd be in another world, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Turn the lights off and turn that stereo off, as loud as you can. And it just took you into another place, And that's why a lot of my songs are sort of fantasy based, I want to take people on a journey. I want to take them out themselves because a lot of the real world it's kind of boring, I just want to take them somewhere sort of fantastical, and my songs are like mini stories, really. So it's almost like it's mini movies. They're like self-contained like stories, and But it's only because I used to do that. I used to be in another world with these, with our albums like Rainbow Rising or something. You'd look at the cover and go, oh my God, you'd read it cover to cover, and then you'd just like be taken somewhere else, and hopefully that's what our music does.
It does, but isn't that the point of music? I mean, so many bands today are writing about political stuff, things that are going on in the world. I mean, it's a crazy world we live in. There's a lot to write about, these days. But I don't, I get that. Yeah, I get that when I watch the news at night or if I read a newspaper during the day. When I listen to my music, I want to be taken away into a different world. I want to imagine things. It's like when you read a book as a kid and you would picture that world in your mind being it the way you want it to be. And somebody could be reading the same book and they picture that world in a whole different way. But that's imagination.
Yeah, imagine, and that's the big thing, It's like, that's why I want music that fires your imagination, and because it's played such a part, I've always been fascinated by myths, legends, Marvel comics. Oh my God, that was my save.
Yeah.
That saved my life. I live for the Marvel DC comics, and sort of horror films and science fiction films, it's just that escapist element, and that's why I try and make our music as imaginative, as I can. I mean, there's probably a million songs, written about like sex, drugs, rock and roll, all that stuff. That's great, there's an audience for that. But I want to give our audience more, and somebody once called us, what was that? The Thinking Man's Metal Band. That was a great compliment. I really love that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's easy to write a sex, drug, and rock and roll song lyrically, but to really take people into a story. I mean, you've told plenty of stories over your albums. I mean, you wrapped up one with Time Assassin, and you've done that for your whole career where you've told great stories, and this is another one. I mean, one of my, I'm a big science fiction fanatic, and like I said, Marvel Comics as a kid, and Roger Zelazny was one of my favorite authors of all time with the Amber Chronicles, and when I listen to your songs, it takes me back to those days, and I put that story in my mind as I listen to the music, and that's what I think is so great about this album and all your albums in the past.
Oh, thank you so much. You totally get it. That's exactly where I'm coming from, and and the thing is, we're like kindred spirits. You're exactly the kind of person I write for because I'm like that as well. so it's brilliant, like the way we connect, and it's like all over the world, really. It's like there's people like us, absolutely all over the world, into the same kind of things as we are. So I think that's why our music kind of goes from strength to strength, and if anything, we just get bigger. So that's great. Must be doing something right after 4 years.
I think you got it. I think you got it nailed down. But what do you have planned for the rest of this year? I mean, are the shows lined up? Officially on High Roller Records, May 31st is the official release date. Last Man Standing, everybody has heard that for the first time last week. I played it also. And so what do you have planned for this year, Lee?
Yeah, we got of all things, the next album. I've got to start demoing up the next album, which sounds crazy with this one just coming out, but that's the way it happens, you got the next one ready to go. So that'll take me a few months, and we've got some shows. We've got Mayhem here in England. That's great. We've got a show in Oxford, and we've got a show in Munich. So I'm not putting too many shows in because I've got to get this record, like the next one kind of sorted. But the following year, next year, we're gonna go touring everywhere like next year. So that's the big one. So hopefully we can get America in there.
I hope so. You came twice.
America.
You came twice, and not one of those two times there were any shows in my area that I can get to. I was so disappointed. I was like, do I take a 6-hour road trip? That's the closest place to. Then I'm looking at my car. I'm like, I don't think my car is going to make it 6 hours to get there.
Well, we are, Adrian. We've got to get him closer.
Just a little bit.
We had such a fantastic time. It was the most fun I've ever had. But we were proper old school. We're playing every single night,
That's rough.
About 2 days off, about 3 months or something. It was a blast. I just loved every minute of it, and we get it did so well. We had to do 2, we
yeah.
2 back to back, and there would have been third, but the drummer had some commitments and he couldn't do it. But it would have been nice to go back to Whiskey A Go Go again.
You guys played everywhere. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, you're so excited because you get to come to the U.S. for the first time. You're playing all over the country, and you say to yourself, "This is just amazing." But then, like you said, every night on stage, that's really rough on everybody physically, and then all the commuting and traveling in between. It's a big country. You're going from one place to the other. I'm like, when is it, like, how far into it do you say, oh my God, we got to get back into this van, we got to travel again? When does it become like, is it over?
I'll tell you what, we were like, something out of Agincourt at the end of the night. We were up dead, but the minute we get in next day, right, let's go and do it, and we were like proper road warriors, every single night. And the toughest one, the craziest one, I think, was it Chicago? It was either Detroit or Chicago. We went all the way from Detroit or Chicago, all the way down to New Orleans.
That's a long trip.
Right the way through, yeah. And see, because the guys were driving, and because I would drive on the wrong side of the road.
Of course.
I got to go to sleep, and so we were in New Orleans, and we got there. I thought it was about 9 o'clock at night, right? So George is half dead. He goes to the hotel, right? And I go, well, I had this really good mate. He was a fantastic jazz musician, but he always wanted to go to Bourbon Street, right?
Yeah.
Biggest wish, and he never did, and he died. And I'm thinking, you know what? To honour him, I'm going to go and see Bourbon Street. I didn't know it was 3 o'clock in the morning. It was 3, and that place is just full of all the mist coming up.
Yeah.
It looks like Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, my sunglasses actually look like a gun. My sunglasses, and so there's all these crackheads and stuff.
Yeah. I
sort of walk past them. Hey, that guy's packing, kind of thing, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, the sunglasses. So it was like, do I walk past that lot, or do I go completely into the dark, into the mist and everything?
Yeah.
I chose that.
There you go.
Walking for ages through all these alleyways, apart from a few crackheads by the trash cans and everything. I came out at the end, and it was like by this graveyard, and there was a voodoo shop on the end of the I went, this could only happen to me. The old Cloven thing.
Yeah.
And but it was just extraordinary. And like the next day, the guys went, "You never went down there on your own." Oh, yeah. I was, but I thought it was 10 o'clock at night, 3 in the morning. Hey.
You lose yourself when you're on the road that long. Lee, Lee, I could talk to you forever, but it says we only have a minute left. They only give you like a 45-minute time limit on here.
Oh, well, I could talk to you forever, my friend.
I don't want to get disconnected and say, he hung up on me, that son of a bitch.
No, it's been, mate, it's such a honour and a pleasure to see you. It always is. And I hope your family's all good and stuff. So it's all exciting. Great album. I'm working on the next one.
I know.
Probably the one.
And we're going to talk again when that comes out too, Lee. You're one of my favorite people in the world to talk to. You did such an amazing job on Heathen's Cross. I'm hoping that next year you can make it back to the U.S. because no matter where you are, if I have to get on a plane to come see you, I'm going to get on a plane to come see you.
I love America so much, and everywhere's like a different country.
True.
I'm so impressed. It really is. It's like completely different. Different accent, different everything, and it was just such a lifting experience because I had an expectation. And America exceeded it, and the fans are just out this world. So, if there's any way, we're coming back next year.
I'm glad, Lee. The best of luck with the new record, my friend. I'm going to play the hell out of it for you. We're going to promote this thing to the very end until the next one comes out. But I hope to see you soon again. And give my love to Kay. The best of luck, Lee.
I will do. You take care, my brother.
Thank you, my friend. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
try. Don't believe her innocence, she won't lie anymore. Burn, witch, burn. When are you gonna learn? Burn, witch, burn. You're a killer. To the devil you return. Gypsy's curse be upon you now and forever until the end of time. My spirit will be avenged of this blasphemous crime. It's the curse of a gypsy. I'm a gypsy queen. It's the curse. I'm a gypsy queen. It's the curse. I'm a gypsy queen. It's the curse. I'm a gypsy queen.
Cloven, Hoof, Curse of the Gypsy. I want to thank Lee and Matt for being on tonight's show. I have to apologize once again for the quality of that interview. I just try to piece it together from what I can find in the background of the recording to make it work and get it on here. That's why I like to have everybody on live. They call in, it happens, and it's over with. You don't have to worry about trying to record something. It's there. And what's funny is that like 10 times Lee's been on the show, they were always live, but we just couldn't make it happen this time. So there you go. Pick up the new Cloven Hoof record. It's a masterpiece, in my opinion. Don't forget, next week, Babylon AD and Rhapsody of Fire. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Let's wrap it up with a little Ichabod Crane. This is George Neal from Halloween Side Project. They haven't done anything in probably 10 years or better. George has been sick fighting cancer for a long time. I hope he's doing okay. But here you go, Ichabod Crane, Day of Reckoning. The song is a final warning. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Sunday.